Hey guys, what's up? I hope you're having a great day. Today, I'm here to talk to you about Spider-Man. Ever since his creation in 1962, Spider-Man has been a beloved superhero and is widely regarded as the most popular superhero of all time. Take that, Batman. There have been countless Spider-Man adaptations, with 8 live-action feature-length films since 2002 alone, and that's not even counting all the adaptations before that. But something changed with 2018's Into the Spider-Verse. It was the first adaptation that actually looked like a comic book. It adapted comic book storytelling to the big screen in a way that had never been done before.
What's up, danger?
Comic book stylization is featured heavily throughout the film. The classic hallmarks of comic book storytelling, paneling, multi-screen compositions, and narration boxes, are on full display. The film acted as this new hybrid between comic book and film that brought the comic books to life by creating a visually interactive way to view the world of the comic books. The film is full of near-constant references to comic books. They play a major role in both the stylization of the film and also in the world of the film itself. For example, every time we meet a new Spider-Person, they introduce themselves using their respective comic book.
My name is Peter Parker.
My name is Peter B. Parker.
My name is Gwen Stacy.
My name is Peter Parker.
My name is Penny Parker.
My name is Peter Parker.
These comic book touches are used throughout the film, but they don't show up in Miles' storyline until he gets bitten. Then, when he wakes up the next day, it's almost constant. Narration boxes appear as he begins narrating his thoughts for the first time, giving the illusion that we're actually in his head. He even goes so far as to call attention to this.
Wait, why is the voice in my head so loud?
Paneling compositions and split screens are used throughout the film as a narrative device, starting with Miles' reaction to his new powers. As he walks through the halls, we see various close-up panels of his classmates' reactions, mirroring both his new heightened senses and how overwhelmed he is by all of this. Then, when Miles gets back to his room, he starts reading a comic book and sees all of the same things happening that have just happened to him. In this way, the film is very self-referential, making a point to call attention to the comic book style that it's based on. In doing so, it acknowledges the origins of the character and how comic book storytelling will always be inextricably tied to him. Onomatopoeias are used throughout the film, the same way they're used as sound effects in comic books, especially to show danger. They're also very prevalent in fight scenes, making the blows feel like they hit even harder. And each Spider-Person has their own onomatopoeias which match their personality and aesthetic. The film's depiction of the character's Spidey sense is also true to the comic books, and can be seen when Miles meets the original Spider-Man from his universe and they recognize each other's powers. There are also flashes of comic book art in the middle of scenes, reminding you of the film's comic book origins without detracting from it as a film. And the comic book references don't stop there. Peter B. Parker narrates his plan to break into Alchemax through a comic book composition. The film pays homage to the comic books and their impact on the creation of the character in a way a live-action film never could. Not only is the plot of the story from the comic books, but the heart and soul of that story is also forever intertwined in that medium, and the film understands this. Into the Spider-Verse blends form and storytelling together to create a work of art that stays authentic to the original material. The entire film is a love letter to the comic book storytelling that started it all. Across the Spider-Verse uses this same comic book stylization. Characters introduce themselves with their respective comic books, and there are even multiple different versions of the Miles comic as major events occur throughout the film. Paneling and multi-screen compositions can be seen throughout and are a key aspect of storytelling in the film. From panels of Miguel injecting himself with serum, mirroring the paneling we saw in the first film when Miles gets bitten, to multi-screen compositions, introducing new characters and new worlds. These compositions are especially prevalent during fight scenes and during the hunt for Miles at the end of the film. Narration boxes are used to echo the character's inner thoughts and really highlights the significance of Miles and Gwen realizing that he's in the wrong dimension. Onomatopoeias and flashes of comic books are also seen throughout the film, and just like in Into the Spider-Verse, they highlight the action and fight scenes. They're even used to call attention to other Spider-People and their own unique catchphrases. One of the best examples of all of these elements combined together is when Gwen goes to visit Miles in his dimension and they're swinging through the city together. And comics are just as present in Across the Spider-Verse as they are in Into the Spider-Verse. For example, when Miguel is explaining the significance of canon events to Miles, he shows him all different comic book versions of Spider-Man experiencing these canon events. And this comic book inspiration is also used in the character design of both films. There have been numerous comic book adaptations of Spider-Man over the years, with so many different artistic styles being used for different variations of the character, and each of the characters in these films is based on one of these artistic styles. Each character's unique aesthetic can be seen especially in their comic book intros and the differences between them. In Into the Spider-Verse, we meet Miles Morales, the original Spider-Man from his universe, and Peter B. Parker, who are both based off of the classic Spider-Man, which there have been literally thousands of comic book variations of, Gwen Stacy, aka Spider-Gwen, Spider-Man Noir, Penny Parker from the Edge of Spider-Geddon series, and Spider-Ham from Peter Porker, the Amazing Spider-Ham. Spider-Man Noir is black and white and modeled after a film noir detective, Penny Parker is designed like an anime character, and Spider-Ham is designed in Looney Tunes style.
That's all, folks.
In Across the Spider-Verse, we're introduced to Spider-Man India, Spider-Punk, and Miguel O'Hara, aka Spider-Man 2099. Later in the film, when they go to the Spider Society, we're introduced to literally hundreds of other Spider people, each of which is also based off of their own individual comic book character. Even the concept of various different Spider people existing within a multiverse and being able to travel to each other's dimensions is taken from the comics. The first origins of the Spider-Verse appeared in the comics in 2014. Since there are so many different Spider people within the Spider-Verse, it's crucial for the audience to be able to differentiate between them. So, each Spider-Person was given their own individual art style based off of the comics they originated in, and these art styles were designed to match their personalities, depicting their characterization visually. The first film takes place in the world of the protagonist of the series, Miles Morales, and the plot revolves around various Spider people entering his world, each with their own visual aesthetic. Across the Spider-Verse expands on this by taking place in multiple different universes. Each of these universes has its own unique art style, and each of these art styles is distinct to one specific character. The characters maintain their individual aesthetics even when they're in other worlds, but the world they're in always matches the art style of whichever character's home world it is. Throughout the film, we visit 5 main worlds: Spider-Gwen's world, Miles' home world, Spider-Man India's world, the world of the Spider Society, and Earth 42. Spider-Gwen's world is designed to look like a watercolor painting and has a brushwork quality to it, and the lighting and coloring of the shots change based on how she's feeling. For example, when Gwen is having an argument with her dad and all of a sudden they hug, the colors become warmer and the lighting instantly becomes brighter, visually depicting how this brightened her mood. And then when he's called into work, the colors go back to their darker state, illustrating her mood changing once again. Spider-Man India's world is a mix of modern and ancient with touches of traditional Indian culture. It was made to replicate vintage comic books, using paper texture, misprints, and color offsets. The world of the Spider Society is very futuristic, orderly, and geometric. Earth 42 has a lot of bright, almost neon complementary colors and high contrast lighting, using color theory to put the viewer on edge. As for the characters, Miles is an artist and understands the world through his artwork, which can be seen in his intro. Gwen is designed to be light on her feet and moves almost like a ballerina, while Spider-Man India moves like a gymnast and has Bengal web slingers. Spider-Punk, on the other hand, is essentially a living punk rock poster that is constantly in motion. He's designed like a collage and is constantly changing color, as if he's actively being collaged together as he moves. The watch portal that he makes for Gwen is even designed in this collage-esque style. Spider-Man 2099 is very angular and has claws and fangs, laser webs, and a unique fighting style. You can also see this geometry in the hexagonal portals he designed, which allow the characters to travel between different universes, combining his aesthetic with the multiverse dots from the Collider in the first film. The villain of the film, Spot, also has his own individual style. He's black and white, and his design is very splotchy. As he becomes more powerful, his design begins to incorporate more and more color and becomes more and more sketch-like as he morphs between different universes. He also has the ability to get into Miles' head and show him visions from the past and future. These are all done in Spot's black and white style and are heavily textured with hatch marks, which is indicative of the hand-drawn quality of Spot's aesthetic. The animators took these comic book art styles and the personalities of each character and combined them, creating a unique visual language for each character. In doing this, they were able to stay authentic to the source material that people fell in love with in the first place, while also creating a new method of characterization. They were able to use these different art styles to give each character their own point of view and quite literally their own way of seeing the world. This changed what had been previously considered possible in character design and visual storytelling and all the different ways there are to depict it on screen. Hopefully this is only the beginning of a new wave of animation that will continue to expand on this high stylization and really test the boundaries of what animation can be. The way the films pay homage to the comics, both in their style and in their character design, really celebrates the artistic diversity of the comics. And the Spider-Verse films really embrace this celebration of diversity in all aspects. They have hundreds of different Spider-People from different cultures who come in all different shapes and sizes, their different ethnicities and gender identities, so that anyone watching can see a Spider-Person that looks like them and feel seen. Stan Lee, co-creator of Spider-Man, praised the character for this, saying,
"You know one of the greatest things about Spider-Man's outfit? He is completely covered. So any kid could imagine he's Spider-Man. I think it was the best thing we did, making him so that he could be anybody under that costume."
Miles even mentions this in the film.
Anyone can wear the mask.
The character was designed so that anyone could imagine it was them under the mask. That's the true beauty of Spider-Man, and the Spider-Verse films depicted this phenomenally. This celebration of diversity in media is hugely important. Representation matters, and all different kinds of people being able to see themselves on screen is hugely important, not just for them, but also for society as a whole. The Spider-Verse films are both visually stunning and truly a work of art that celebrates both the origins and the heart and soul of Spider-Man. They did what no other film has been able to do, and created a masterpiece that captures the essence of who Spider-Man is and what he stands for. Thanks for watching, I hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!